Hey guys, 22 Plinkster here. I have the Ruger American Rimfire rifle. This one's actually chambered in the 22 long rifle. I think this rifle is pretty sweet. You see what I did there? I said the rifle's sweet, and peppermint, it's candy, and so it's sweet, and never mind. Alright, this little Ruger American Rimfire rifle, this is chambered in 22 long rifle. I know I'm going to get the questions, no, you cannot shoot 22 shorts or 22 longs out of this because it takes a magazine. Now, if this was tube fed, yes you could, but since this is magazine fed, you cannot shoot 22 long or 22 shorts out of it. Now I guess you could if you manually put each one in, but it states right here on the side of the barrel, 22 long rifle. I don't know if you can see that or not. But first things first, if you're familiar with Ruger, you know the quality that comes with Ruger. I'm a huge Ruger fan, own a lot of Rugers. And they created this rifle to actually compete with the other entry-level 22 bolt-action rifles that are on the market. There's some things that sets this rifle apart, okay? It's got Ruger's new trigger in it, right here. You can see it. It looks a lot like a Savage Accu trigger, okay? This is their marksman trigger. You can actually adjust this trigger yourself with just an Allen wrench between 3 and 5 pounds. So I like the flexibility of this trigger. The trigger is very, very smooth, okay? However, since this is a new rifle, there is just a little bit of grit when the trigger starts to travel a little bit. There's not much travel in it at all, but that little bit, there is just a tiny bit of grit on this particular rifle. Now, however, after 1,000 rounds or so, I think that grit will actually smooth it up and this trigger will be unbelievable. One of the things that they did to enhance the accuracy of this rifle, not only with the rifling in this barrel, but also they put in 2 blocks, okay? The barrel and the receiver is mounted to 2 blocks inside here. It's not mounted to the stock itself. That ensures great accuracy out of this rifle. I actually shot, after I put about 15-20 rounds through it, I actually put it on the bench at 50 yards, and I shot a 3-inch group that was very, very small. And this is just with standard open sights. So this rifle is going to be extremely accurate once whether you shoot at open sights or if you put in any kind of optics on it, you can ensure some really small groups with this rifle. Let's talk a minute about these sights. Okay, any of you that are familiar with the Ruger 1022, it's the exact same sights, okay? You've got your standard sight, just like your Ruger 1022, and you have a fiber octave sight. I was kind of, disappointed when they put the fiber octave sight on there because I'm not a huge fiber octave sight on rifles or pistols. But this one actually is not that bad. A lot of times, the fiber octave sight is so bright that it blinds the target behind it and you can't see it. But this one, of course I'm shooting it on a cloudy day. It's really not that bad. But another feature that, if you're familiar with the 1022 sights, such as this, they're V-notched right here in the back. What you can actually do, you can take this piece right here off and flip it upside down. So if you prefer a square notch out of your rear sight instead of that V-notch, you can do it. So that's a pretty cool little option. Another thing that Ruger did on this rifle that I really like is you see the rear part of this stock, okay? You can actually replace this rear part of the stock to increase or decrease the length of pull, and also for a cheek riser. Okay, this one actually comes with it. You can replace this, and if you're mounting optics on it, you can put it on there like so, and it's going to give you a little bit higher cheek rest. You can also buy other ones that will increase and decrease the length of pull of this rifle. So if you have a young shooter, you can decrease the length of pull for this, and if you're a really tall guy like I am, you can actually increase it a little bit. So that is an awesome option for this rifle. These Ruger American Rimfire rifles come in 2 different models in the 22 long rifle. They come in the standard model with the 22-inch barrel, and then they also come in a compact model with an 18-inch barrel. The standard has a little bit longer length of pull, and the compact a little bit shorter length of pull. Another thing that Ruger did right, they're using their 1022 Rotary Magazines with this rifle. One of them comes standard in every rifle. In my opinion, this magazine right here is the most reliable magazine ever created. Another good thing is if you have some BX25 magazines made by Ruger, they will also fit in there and work fine. However, your Butler Creek magazines, such as this, I can't get mine to fit in there. So I don't think Butler Creek works in there, but your Ruger products such as this BX25 magazine will work fine. All right, let's test the accuracy of this rifle at long ranges. Of course, it's a little windy out here. This is free-handed, but I have a 6-inch plate down there. I'm using regular Federal Champion bulk ammo. Let's see if I can hit it a few times. Seems to be right on the money. Man, this thing is a good shooter. I'm out. Yep, I think it's pretty accurate at 100 yards. All right, I had to come in here to the reloading room because the wind was picking up outside, but I want to give you my final thoughts on the Ruger American Rimfire rifle. Now, this rifle is, of course, chambered in the 22 long rifle, but it also comes in the 17 HMR and also the 22 Magnum. I think Ruger hit a home run with it. You know, I think only time will tell, but I love this rifle. It points well. The rifling is good and sharp. It's very accurate. They kept the Ruger 1022 sights, which I love. Kept the magazine, and let's not forget the trigger. The trigger, you know, the trigger sold it for me. This trigger's butter. It's actually one of the nicest trigger on an entry-level 22 rimfire rifle I've ever shot in my life. So I really like the rifle, but I want to thank Clarksville Guns and Archery for allowing me to use one of their rifles to make this video. If you have any questions, come over to Facebook and ask me those questions there, or Twitter, or just leave them down here in the comments below. Thank you very much for watching. Y'all be safe and keep linking.